Well, today marks 1 year since the insurrection at the U.S. Capitol, and throughout the day, we will be bringing you live interviews with local lawmakers who were there that day. Joining us now is Senator Ed Markey. Senator, I'm curious, when is the moment that you knew that something was seriously wrong that day and that people were in danger?
Well, when over the intercom it said, the Capitol is under attack. Lock all doors, lock all windows. The Capitol is under attack. So it was clear that at that point, the insurrectionists had breached the security of the Capitol and that the process of counting the electoral college votes was going to be stopped. And from that moment on, we were in a moment of crisis in our country. Which is why we honor the police who defended the Capitol, defended democracy on that day. And it's because of them that we were all able to go back out onto the Senate floor 8 o'clock that night and to finish the counting of the electoral college votes. But from the moment where the warning was sounded until the police finally were able to get those insurrectionists out of the Capitol, it was a very scary day for our democracy.
Senator, what was going through your mind when you heard that statement over the intercom? I mean, were you even able to fully process what was happening? Could you believe what you were hearing?
It was incomprehensible. We obviously had a very well-prepared group of people who had thought out very carefully what their assault on the Capitol building would have to have in order to be successful. And it was absolutely something that I had never contemplated. And while I was here on September 11th of 2001, that was an assault by foreign forces on the United States. It would never have crossed my mind that Americans on the day that we would be counting the electoral college votes would be seeking to penetrate the security of our country and to take those ballots and make it impossible for Joe Biden to be certified. So no, it was just beyond belief what was happening that day.
I'd like to read you a statement that former President Trump just released this morning in response to President Biden's speech. We have it up on the screen. It reads, "The Democrats want to own this day of January 6th so they can stoke fears and divide America. I say let them have it because America sees through their lies and polarizations." What is your reaction to this statement from the former president?
Well, Donald Trump continues to perpetuate the big lie. Unfortunately, it is now a big threat to democracy because too many Americans believe what he is saying. And they represent, obviously, in one way, a nationalist, a racist segment of our population. But because it's a former president of the United States saying it, it actually spreads over into a larger percentage of the population in our country. So it is very scary. He's clearly committed to the big lie. He's clearly committed to running for re-election, and he's going to punish any Republican who in any way questions the assertion which Trump is continuing to make, which is that Joe Biden was not legally elected on this day 1 year ago by the counting of the electoral college ballots. So it's scary what Donald Trump is saying. It's why we all have to stand up as Americans. We have to fight this hate, this lie that Donald Trump is seeking to inject into the American political system. And if we don't, we are going to reap a whirlwind of nationalism and hatred. And that's why it is imperative that the United States Congress pass strong voting rights laws, because they are, through Donald Trump's direction all across the country right now, at the state legislative level, putting laws on the books which will suppress the voting access, especially for Black and brown Americans in our country, which Donald Trump knows are largely Democratic.
Senator,
excuse me. I'm sorry.
oh no, I'm so sorry, Senator. Please finish your thought.
Yeah, so that's why this moment is so important. We have to remember what happened a year ago. Thank the police, especially for the sacrifice they made on that day in protecting democracy, but resolve that we will pass the laws to protect the voting rights of every single American in our country. As Joe Biden said this morning, the Republicans aren't challenging any gubernatorial or senatorial or congressional votes from the election, only for Joe Biden. Everything else seems to have been legitimate. And that just goes to how he views this, which is that it's all about him. And that the democracy which he believes was jeopardized is just that he lost. And he is a sore loser. He will not accept it. And unfortunately, too many of his supporters are willing to stand up and repeat the big lie.
Senator, my final question for you. Are you confident in the work that the January 6th committee has been doing, the progress they've made? And do you believe that the people who are responsible for this, who have not been held accountable yet, will be ultimately held accountable?
Well, 700 people have already been charged. And there are many more who I think are going to also be made accountable. But we just can't stop with those people who were here on the Capitol grounds on January 6th of 2021. We have to follow the clues, follow the leads all the way into the Oval Office. And we can see from the communication with Sean Hannity and with so many others that this was something that went right to the Oval Office. And so the Congressional Committee must obtain every single piece of evidence, and then we must follow the truth and ensure that Donald Trump, if necessary, and the evidence is there, winds up in jail. That is what I believe has to happen if we are going to demonstrate not only to our own people, but to the rest of the world that we are a democracy and that we're not going to allow a single individual to be able to subvert 240 years of American history.
Senator Ed Markey, we thank you for your time and for your insight on the anniversary.
Thanks for having me.